Diet timings and quality. Only 2 times meal is permitted according to Ayurved. Breakfast is a Western concept. However, due to changing work schedules, now even the Indians have accepted it. Children, pregnant women, hard-working people require a breakfast. People with a sitting work and not doing any exercise don't need it. Rather, it is not good for them. Ideally, one should have a glass of milk in the morning and lunch at 11 to 12 pm. Dinner at 6 to 7 pm. If due to work schedule, the lunch time is a bit later, one may have a breakfast, but the quantity of lunch is to be divided into breakfast and lunch. One should keep a watch on weight, and if it is increasing beyond normalcy, should reduce the quantity. If breakfast is not taken, then fruits can be eaten at 3-4 pm. The quality of food depends on the kind of food material, its heaviness or lightness for digestion. Heavy food material like black gram, meat like pork is to be eaten only half of the satisfaction. Light food like rice, porridge, moonga, green gram, etc. can be eaten up to the satisfaction. We have to consider 4 compartments of our stomach. 2 parts are to be filled with solid food, 1 part with liquid, and 1 has to be kept empty. One has to eat only that quantity which will be easily digested. Sequence of food. Food of sweet taste, heavy to digest, is to be eaten first. So fruits and desserts are really to be taken first and not in the end. Food with salty and sour taste is to be taken in the middle part, e.g. sauces, pickles, yogurt, buttermilk. The one with astringent, pungent, bitter taste is to be taken at the end. Honey, black pepper, ginger, bitter gourd, cardamom can be taken at the end. Yogurt. There are many restrictions on yogurt. One should never consume it at dinner, not even during lunch, during the spring, summer and autumn. Not to be taken frequently in much quantity. If it has to be taken, then along with honey or brown sugar and ghee or split green gram or emlica fruit. Otherwise, it can create various diseases such as hyperacidity, sinusitis, bronchitis, asthma, skin diseases, and especially diabetes and kidney failure, etc. In winter and rainy seasons, occasionally it can be taken with honey or brown sugar during lunch. Banana fruit is to be avoided along with yogurt. Buttermilk is a better option to yogurt. Ice cream. Ice cream is a milk product and is sweet, cold and heavy to digest. It increases kapha dosh and is not good in patients suffering from cold, sinusitis, bronchitis, asthma, etc. It should not be consumed during winter or rainy seasons. It's good during summer. Ice cream with ginger and honey can be had in winter in the afternoon, but not during the night. Non-vegetarian diet. The production of non-vegetarian diet has grown into a commercial industry. The natural qualities of the animals have been lost. Hormones are given to boost up their growth. Preservation for a long time is very common. As compared to that, the vegetarian diet is still much better. But if non-vegetarian is to be taken, and then lamb is a better option to chicken or beef or pork. Those who are accustomed to fish may have them, but not in a fried form always. They are good for vata but increase pitta and kapha. Lamb is suitable for human beings as compared to others. The leg soup is still a better option, which is beneficial for strength but is easy to digest and won't produce obesity. Pork is not advisable for the same. Water. Water is to be drunk only as per the requirement. In summer and autumn, the requirement is more. In other seasons, it should be restricted. Water is one of 5 basic elements and is a good fire extinguisher. In proper qualities, it helps digestion, but in excess, it hampers the digestive fire and so the digestion as well. Moreover, the kapha dosh is made up of water and earth element, and hence excess water is responsible for production of excess kapha, leading to various diseases like sinusitis, bronchitis, diarrhea, indigestion, edema, etc. Hence, only a few sips of water which satisfy the thirst are advised each time. You need not consume a full glass of water each time. Water during meals is more suitable than after meals. Drinking water only after meals may cause obesity and diseases like sinusitis, bronchitis, etc. Water before food hampers the digestive fire. Hence, a few sips of water during meals are advisable. The Vata Pitta predominant people may drink water in the morning just after waking up. 1 or 2 glasses of hot water help in the process of motion and hence are useful in constipation. Those who have kapha predominance should not consume it. They should avoid water while going to bed. Even hot water is useful for those and for people with indigestion throughout the day. Refrigerated water can be consumed during summer or autumn, but needs to be avoided in winter, spring, and the rainy season. Earthen pot is a better option to refrigerator for cooling. Seasonal flowers like rose, jasmine, etc. can be kept in water in summer to enhance the cooling effect naturally. Combination of hot water and honey should be avoided. Drinks. Soft drinks have no value at all and are being drunk only for the sake of fun and taste. On the other hand, they are harmful if taken frequently and in large quantities. Fresh fruit juices may be used as compared to juices preserved with natural preservatives. Wines in proper quantities are beneficial to a certain extent, especially in winter. Red wine is a better option to other wines. Those are to be taken after meals. One should never become addicted to it. Consumption is to be avoided in summer, and if it has to be taken, then a large quantity of water should be added to it. Psychological factors. Tensions, worries, grief, jealousy, greed, various desires including that for sex, hatred, anxiety, fear, selfishness, etc., are important psychological factors as they are causative factors for various psychosomatic diseases. One should reach to the root cause to get rid of them. On the other hand, happy, pleasant mind, satisfaction, gratitude for all, fulfillment of proper desires in a proper manner, forgiveness, etc. are good factors and one should try to achieve them according to Ayurveda. There are two major causative factors responsible for psychological disturbances. 1. Not getting what is desired. 2. Getting something which is not desired or even desired. The concepts of happiness and pleasure keep on changing in the various walks of life at different stages. In the childhood, becoming a pilot might be a dream of happiness. To own a bungalow or a car might be a dream at a young age. One may set objectives as per desires and try to fulfill them in a proper way. If everything goes smoothly, one reaches his/her target and gets satisfaction. But if one is not having that capacity, the situation is unfavorable. The time is improper, there is a failure leading to misery, loss of confidence, etc. One may try to use improper means to achieve the goal, ultimately leading to a more disastrous situation. Reaching a particular goal is a multi-factor phenomenon and one really fails to recognize various factors involved. The failure thus leads to frustration, leading further to more mistakes and that again to failure. A holistic thinking of proper ways, understanding of situation thoroughly, understanding own capacities is the need of that hour. Proper steps in a systematic manner to lead one to success and happiness. Ayurved describes sadvritta elaborately to take care of psychological factors and help the person to march for ultimate pleasure or salvation. These rules for good conduct are also very useful in our day-to-day life and bring happiness. One should follow them to remain healthy at mental and spiritual level as well. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas are the qualities of mind. They are unavoidable for any person. Rajas and Tamas are referred to as dosha of mind by the sages. They have to be under control of Sattva. If they become dominant, they give rise to kama, various desires, including that for sex, krodha, anger, lobh, greed, moha, confused state regarding any action, mada, a feeling of supremacy, and matsara, jealousy. These are called as shadripu. Shad equal to 6 and ripu is enemy, and they need to be conquered. One has to learn to use them in a positive way. For example, kama, that is desire, by itself is not bad and as such a requirement for the progress of any person. The only requirement is to fulfill it in an ethical way if possible. If it can't be satisfied immediately, think of proper ways to satisfy and make a march in that direction. This brings out overall development of the person in a proper direction. But if it becomes uncontrolled or the desire itself is unethical, that leads to disaster due to unethical behavior. A rape as a result of uncontrolled desire of unethical nature results in disturbance of the whole society, but a proper desire rising out of compassion and gratitude to help needy people uplifts the society to great extent. In the same manner, even anger can be used in a positive manner for progress. Most of the revolutions are the outcomes of the anger about certain rules or customs, etc. But if anger is not controlled, it can lead to anything such as quarrels, insulting, physical abuse, misunderstandings, and insanity, and even with heart attack leading even to death. So it is wise to keep anger under control. We shouldn't be under its control, as it is our own and we should govern it and not get governed by it. Lobha, that is greed, is an excess desire for something, especially of money or wealth, and that leads to unethical way of achieving it. A proper desire to become wealthy in proper ways is really good and is required as an inspiration for living. But when it becomes greed, it is harmful not only to the person but to the whole society. The better way is to be satisfied with whatever we have as compared to those who don't even possess that and still make efforts to achieve better in ethical ways. This sometimes gives rise to moha, that is confusion. We see many honest people struggling hard for life in spite of good efforts in ethical ways. Whereas there are some dishonest people using unethical ways and are rich with no obstacles. This creates confusion about the path to be chosen. Indian philosophy believes in reincarnation and one has to pay for one's deeds either in his lifetime or in the next lifetime. So one shouldn't get confused regarding proper path. Though apparently it may sound unhappy, it fetches real happiness in the end and brings satisfaction. So one has to be clear about the path. The wealth, knowledge, power, etc. can lead a person with a feeling of supremacy and that creates mother out of egoism. It is very well seen that those who have less outstanding can develop egoism. This further leads to improper behavior with others, leading further to misunderstandings, insults, etc. One who really understands that his achievements are nothing doesn't have an ego at all. For example, in an ocean of knowledge, our knowledge is like a drop of water, and why should we boast of that? But in that state of supremacy, one really doesn't understand or realize that. The best thing is to look at an idol like God as supreme and understand our position. One has to think of proper utilization of his or her knowledge, wealth, etc. for needy people instead of just boasting about it. One should not be jealous about the effects of or fruits the other person has obtained, but can be jealous about the qualities of the other person which have brought the results. So, instead of envying others for getting first rank, one has to be jealous about the qualities like regular study, hard work, interaction with teachers, etc. and try to inculcate them in self. Some philosophers call the ahamkara, ego, as the root cause of all these enemies. Our whole concentration is on self. That is why we fall prey to rajas and tamas and get influenced by these enemies. These are the causes of all sorts of sorrows. One should control rajas and tamas to get freed from them. Yoga practice is rather an easier way to achieve this. Regarding sex, sex or abstinence is one of the three pillars of life. One who has happiness in abstinence, Brahmacharya, has no problem at all. Due to the power given by the abstinence, he can lead a full, healthy life for a long period. But this is very rare. Sexual desire is one of the natural instincts, and especially in adolescence and young age, it is at its peak. It gives a good pleasure and is also required for progeny. So instead of trying to avoid it, it is better to satisfy it with proper means. In Indian philosophy, life is divided into four quadrants. The first quadrant is called Brahmacharya Ashram, in which the person is expected to stay away from sex and concentrate on studies. The second quadrant is Grihasthashram. Firstly, he seeks some job or becomes self-employed and starts earning and then gets married. He has good married life and lives along with his family quite many years. Now he is very much attached to the family members, friends and society and enjoys all types of happiness associated with married life. Now it's the time for his gradual detachment from the enjoyments, and here begins the third quadrant, Vanaprastha, in which a person prepares to go to the forest and lives a lonely life. The fourth quadrant is Sannyas Ashram, when there is total detachment leading ultimately to salvation. What is found in Indian society is the strong attachment amongst family members, friends, and as a whole of the society. Very rare old people start of detaching, which is expected in old age. Sex is only after marriage, that is, after entering the Grihasthashram quadrant. Most of the marriages are still arranged marriages and they sustain lifelong because they are based on love and sacrifice. Now, due to the westernization, the Indians are turning towards a western system. But still, the Indian culture is strong and is prohibiting the process of westernization. The mentality for marrying in India is to live a long, happy married life and have the pleasures of Grihasthashram. In the West, the situation is just opposite. A person is at the center and the personal independence has been given the priority. Even a child is grown with this particular intention only, and real love, sacrifice, acceptability, forgiveness rarely finds place either with a married person or just with a partner for sex. The union is just for sexual pleasure and everybody keeps his own identity, maintains ego, whether married or not. That is why marriages are not successful. Even the studies in Australia have shown that Indian students are doing well as compared to others only because of secured family system. Ayurved has a particular branch called as Vajikaran, which is meant for sex and progeny. Ayurveda describes so many herbs, minerals, metals, and animal products which are aphrodisiac in nature. Even food items like milk, ghee, garlic, onions, etc. are also aphrodisiac in nature. But the best of the aphrodisiac for a man is a woman herself. The one who is loved the most is the most suitable aphrodisiac for that person. If there is perfect understanding, both of them love each other, there is a real pleasure of sexual intercourse. This can be enhanced by food material, herbal medicines, atmosphere, etc. Still, there are many restrictions as well. In winter, it can be done as per desire and capacity. In spring and autumn, once in 3 days, and in summer and rainy season, once in 15 days. There should be privacy without any disturbance. The person should be neither hungry nor overeaten. Both should have a joyful mind. Sex should not be performed during menstruation and not after 70 years of age and not before 20 years for males and 16 years for females. Ideal ages for male and female are 25 and 16 respectively. Indian government legally banned marriage before 18 years for girls. After marriage, early pregnancy is better. Delay in conception may create infertility problem later on. In India, it is generally seen that children become grown up and start eating before the verge of start earning before the verge of retirement of parents, and they are expected to take care of parents in their old age. This is clearly the ideal situations, which in the childhood parents care for them and in the old age children take care of parents. Now with the westernization and separate family systems and the generation gap, the situation is in India is also changing, and grown-ups may refuse to take care of their parents. On the contrary, in the West, independence has been given the priority. A child has to find his own way of living and get detached from the family. Some are of the opinion that the above process has started with the woman liberalization movement. Actually, they were looking after children and home as a whole. Once they started earning for their bread and butter, spending their time in jobs or business, neither man nor woman could pay attention to the children and home. Affection for a child is again a natural instinct and detachment is against nature. However, due to the concept of this independence, the family system is not given importance as compared to a career. Moreover, all sorts of media are advertising exposing woman as a sex idol. This has given rise to moral destruction in the society as a whole, enhancement in crimes and disturbed atmosphere. So, if according to Ayurveda, sex is restricted to the Grihasthashram only, keeping the family structure intact, it will be beneficial for male and female both and even to the society in general. Considering the Western scenario, it might be worthwhile to educate the youngsters about Ayurveda principles. At least the age limit is observed. Let there be the clarity of thoughts that both the male and female want to live happy, long married life. For that, they should be prepared to understand each other, forgive for mistakes, sacrifice for each other, and have intimate love which will surpass all odd situations. They should have a common desire to have children and to grow them, at least initially, in a secured family system. A few successful examples will change the attitude of the society and a cultural change will be possible.